Life is an Empty Bowl of Cherries. This is by Ezekiel Kralin. This is his latest, or rather the latest one that I've got up to. I'm months behind his production of these stories. His stories about Flacco and Lucky, the two little dogs that he loves so much, and their master Deke, who lives in the street and causes Zeke nothing but trouble, and every once in a while produces a revelation of some sort, and more electrical devices for Zeke to charge for him and bring back down, including sleeping bags and coats and things to make the dogs comfortable, as well as food and water for them. Email correspondence January 25th and 27th. The miracle has happened. Date January 25th, very early afternoon. Watson wrote, astounding in every way, too wonderful. And it is for keeps? No time limit on it? I replied, not for keeps. It's transitional until a better housing situation opens up, government subsidized, but no real time limit as far as I know. Watson wrote, I hope you're able to get some pictures of 33 Gough Street, discreet ones, from a distance so I can get an idea of what it looks like. I replied, I just sent you another article with pictures. The miracle has happened. Date January 25th, early afternoon. Watson wrote, okay, I just saw the link and read up, semi-temporary until the lot gets used for something else. I replied, right, it's still a great first step. The doggies now have their own little abode. If Deke doesn't drop by within a week, I'll try to visit him there. He doesn't know my phone number. It's only about a 3 or 4 block walk from here, so I'm pretty sure he'll show up with the pooches soon, beaming with pride about his home. He is much more likely to stick with the program over the long haul than had he moved into a single room shared by 1 or 2 others. The fact he has 2 dogs sort of made the homeless outreach team push for a tiny house. Just another example of how lucky he is to have such sweet hounds, and that one of them is actually named Lucky. The miracle has happened. Date January 25th, mid-afternoon. Watson wrote, great outcome. My heart is with the dogs first, but I'm glad for Deke, too, though he's nowhere near as cute, sweet, and lovable as L and F. I replied, yes, indeed, it's a remarkable outcome. I just took a closer look at the 33 Gough Street article. It turns out it's only a 1 to 3 month stay, during which time they supposedly will help you find a permanent residency. Hopefully he'll hang in there, as a taste of indoors may be the perfect motivation. I will, of course, still push for an out-of-court settlement to be allowed to have the dogs stay with me whenever. You never know if Deke will wind up on the streets again. Besides which, even when he has a nice little cabin or room to live in, he could drop them off with me a day or 2 now and then. Also, should anything happen to him, such as going to the ER or, glob forbid, dying, I want to be able to take the pups under my wing. So I'm going to give them my name and phone number one way or another. They don't seem to provide an email on their site, so I can do it in person or perhaps via snail mail. I'll tell them he doesn't own a cell phone and has never memorized my phone number, so in case he wants to call me, they can give him my number. He may freak out over some of the policies, such as seeing a counselor, attending group meetings, or mandatory psychiatric drugs if he wants to be classified as mentally disabled and be eligible for SSI. I really have no idea how they stabilize their homeless clients. I just have been told by Juanita I'm getting a little too loud and keeping her awake, so I'm going to calm down a little bit, move the microphone a little closer to my mouth, and practically whisper to finish reading. How strict or permissive they actually are. There may also be the matter of a flurry of paperwork he'll object to, keeping my fingers crossed. Subject, outdoor seating date, January 25th, late afternoon. Another picture of 33 Gough mini housing showing outdoor seating. I guess they have communal meals there as well as plain old schmoozing among the fortunate residents. I hope Flacco and Lucky steal everyone's hearts. I have a hunch they'll be delirious with glee to be there. Their particular kind of puppy love is more contagious than anything COVID could throw at us. Outdoor seating date, January 25, nighttime. Watson wrote, geez, it looks really civilized. Pups will be fantastic ambassadors of goodwill. I replied, what a nice thing to contemplate, but guess what? He just dropped by a half hour ago to pick up his buggy and everything else, then left. Gave me barely 2 minutes with the pups. Said he won't be back till next payday. When is that again? He asked. Not till the 3rd of next month, I replied. Oh, that's a long time, he snarked. But you already know that, Deke, I retorted. He also requested a double supply of dog food. Strange, I thought, don't they provide meals for both humans and pets? But I didn't bother to vocalize, as he was in another snotty mood and would likely snap at me. He said things like, I'm going to be in big trouble soon, he's sending his gang after me, and it won't be safe for me to step out. Oh, stop talking like Mr. Big Shot, I reprimanded. You don't have a gang, except the devils screeching around in your skull. But you do you, Deke. You do you. Cut out that you do you gay crap, I mean it, he grouched. You're not a real friend, calling the cops on me and threatening to cut me out of your life if I get rid of the dogs, pretending you're in a lawsuit just because you don't want to have them over anymore. Further nasty accusations ensued as usual, but I was not the least bit worried, as I knew it was all an act. He said they put him up way at the other end of town. 33 Gough Street isn't way at the other end of town, Deke, I replied. It's just 4 blocks from here. 33 Gough, where did you get that idea? He queried with a snarl. The woman from Homeless Outreach you were talking to this morning, I explained. I heard her say 33 Gough on the phone. What are you talking about? He exclaimed. Sorry, I didn't speak to any woman. Yes, you did. A woman and a man showed up to get you settled in, I replied. Then they took you off with a guy in a taxi. No, I didn't. That's bullshit. He persisted in the ruse. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't get into a cab. You are crazy. I'm getting the hell out of here. Okay, Deke, you do you, I replied as he took off toward Castro Street with an overburdened baby carriage that wobbled from the weight and pups in tow. Glad you got a roof over your head, and God bless. Assuming he is now residing in North Beach, I presume he was headed for the Muni Metro to take the underground back toward downtown, where he'd either walk from there to North Beach or hop on a bus. By the way, he was dressed nice, with a red cape falling from the shoulders and a pair of shades beneath his brow. Typical no-low midnight punk. Are there tiny houses for the homeless in North Beach, Watson? I don't know, but San Francisco plans to build a lot of them. And North Beach is one good location for that. And by the way, they are called cabins as well. See this article. San Francisco's finally building tiny cabins for homeless people. One reason it may be cheaper than tents. What a relief he's got a place, though I'm not sure now if he got a cabin or just a room. When he showed up again below my window, my heart sank, and I assumed he rejected their offer, and we were back to square one. The dogs looked great, even calmer than usual, as if they had a good rest indoors somewhere. So, of course, being the trickster he is, he's not about to gush with gratitude and thank me profusely. Instead, he did quite the opposite, for he is an opposite shaman, one who says things contrary to what he really means. I don't know how freed up I am now to be away from Hovel for a couple of hours or more. I'd like to check out the entire downtown district and some other locales. Maybe I'll take 1-hour jaunts now and then, see how it goes. Not that I really have much interest anymore these days to go anywhere, and I am the furthest thing from a mall queen one can be. Shopping has never been on my list of things to do to cheer me up. In fact, it depresses me. My coffeehouse life has ended, too, thanks to the pandemic. Tired of wherever I hang out, I have no one to chew the fat with, while everyone around seems to have that in spades, and I can't relate to their pampered, self-obsessed world. Nauseating. I've been that way all my life. But isn't it interesting, the timing of the building manager's demise? And Deke's new digs. I guess my quasi-fascist neighbor down the hallway's own death some weeks back was but a prelude. Subject. Amazon's grocery delivery fees just shot through the roof. Date, January 27th, morning. A few minutes ago I received this horrid email from Amazon. See attachment. No way can I afford such absurd increases. They say nothing about those of us on food stamps, such as this does not apply to EBT customers. There's a new Reddit sub on this, including posts by others who are disabled and collecting food stamps. One comment says Amazon just shot themselves in the foot, and I agree. It's now considerably cheaper to shop locally when you account for the exorbitant delivery fees and restrictions. I was so pleased with the prices, I could even afford frozen blueberries, cherries, etc., just $3.99 per pound. Yummy right out of the bag. They'd cost $8 to $12 locally, so I didn't purchase them. Cheeses were also quite affordable, and so on. Another poster said, I don't think they realize how badly this is going to backfire. I looked up Amazon Fresh alternatives immediately after I saw the email this morning. Their greed is actually impressive. Hopefully it will backfire, and they'll go back to the lower $35 minimum for waiving a delivery fee. Amazon's grocery delivery fees just shot through the roof. Date January 27th, evening. Watson wrote, Gotta punish the poor for being poor. Wouldn't be America if they didn't, but my $220 a month EBT bonus runs out by March, just a day after the new Amazon Fresh fees go up anyway. Nonetheless, I was looking forward to continuing to purchase those delightful frozen berries for only $3.99 a pound with my debit card and cheeses, etc. I did a little research on how to possibly eliminate delivery fees, and you can get away with it by having them drop off your packages at an Amazon hub locker. It's free with Prime. Nearest one is just a half block from me at a gas station catty corner from the Chevron station, as you can see by the attached image. But you can't use it for frozen goods. This is turning out to be a big pain in the ass, and I don't mean flatbread. Pita, and I don't mean flatbread. So I guess I'll soon be dropping Amazon Fresh as well as Prime, since I no longer need quick deliveries, as they were only for assisting Deke and his pups prior to my perishable orders, that is. Besides providing fast delivery, Prime is required to use Amazon Fresh. I can always resume my Prime subscription should he ever wind up on the streets again, a very real possibility, which I hope won't happen, even if it means I get to see the angels more often or at all. Their well-being comes above my selfish desires, and housing them is at the top of that list. There is the possibility that consumer backlash may make Amazon think twice in order to accommodate the low income. But if the reasonable delivery fee is limited to EBT recipients and not just the poor in general, I'm still screwed, since my food stamps will soon drop to around $22 a month. So on my way to the Castro metro station, I approached a small homeless encampment, and my heart leapt into my throat. Oh, geez, I hope Deke and the pups aren't there. But the occupant was obviously inside or had walked away for a moment, as this dome tent was fully enclosed by a tarp. Items left outside included a bicycle, shopping cart loaded with possessions, and a red umbrella set upside down on the sidewalk. Nothing, though, that particularly screamed Deke stuff, but nothing that screamed not Deke stuff either. As I passed by, I heard voices. 2 men were inside, and neither sounded at all like my Cajun pest. Surely, I thought, if Flacco and Lucky are there, that have already sensed my approach and come running out. To my relief, that didn't happen. Since the day Deke and doggies took off in a taxi, I find myself peering out the window quite often, as if expecting to see them walking in my direction from across the street or up or down the block. Sometimes I think I hear his yo or one of the mutts barking, but so far it always turns out to be another dude's yo or some other little doggie's bark. A habit is sure hard to break. So I muse now that if I never see them again, I'll become the picture of an aging old man peering out the window several times a day, month after month, year after year, until the time comes when I too will go the way everyone else has gone, or will go, and my window vacant, curtains flapping over empty space. But I'm already a ghost of myself in many ways, so it won't really be that much of a change, for my loving spirit is stronger than most, and I know my darling furry angels think of me all the time as I do them. Dare I say their master does too? For if you take the concept of opposite shaman to heart, Deke's vile threats and accusations when he briefly dropped by 2 nights ago were his way of telling me he's gobsmackingly happy to have found a home, because the way he carried himself in that red cape and appeared to glow with pride, as well as the pup's well-rested demeanor, indicated that the folks who run the shelter are giving him back his dignity. As for my building manager's likely termination, there still has not been posted anything about Kevin's status, neither in the lobby nor anywhere else. No death announcement, nothing. I wait now for affirmation of his passing before I email another letter to my attorney. The clock is ticking, so it's Friday night once more when Memo of the weird nighttime radio broadcasts its latest show, and with it Marshall's narration of another Brindlekin tale. Life is a bowl of frozen cherries, so more people can enjoy them out of season. To be continued.